Welcome to Subramani. How many of us can honestly say that we have never received a cold call? All of us do receive cold calls, if not once a day, at least once a week, right? So typically I would get a cold call saying, sir, आपका equity trading कैसा चल रहा है? Which means asking how is your equity trading going on, and I asked them why. And they say, no, I'm calling you from Gujarat, I'm calling you from Indore, I'm calling you from Bhopal, I'm calling you from Gurgaon. That doesn't change. And the question is, they want to know how is my equity portfolio doing. And I tell them I don't invest in equities, and that's the end of the call. All of us get some cold call or the other trying to sell us an greatest insurance policy which is about to close down, or some kind of a equity product. I remember one cold call which I got was somebody calling me from one of the top brokers, so I don't want to name them, saying, Subra, here is a risk-free 12% return in a company called NSEL. When you are told NSEL, you think it is some national stock exchange, right? No, it was not national stock exchange. So somebody who had made a company which sounded exactly like national stock exchange, I said, I don't even like the name of the company, forget investing. And that girl at the end of the other end said, sir, risk-free 12% return. And the professor in me got up and said, my dear lady, if State Bank of India is giving me 8% return, which I think is risk-free in India, why would somebody else give me risk-free 12%? I don't understand what is risk-free 8% in a country and a risk-free 12% in the same country. That can't happen, right? So I told her that 400 basis points or 4% more that she was giving me was what is called risk premium. I obviously did not respond to that, but many of my other friends responded, including telling me, look, you've really missed out. Look at the interest that we are getting over the last 2 years. Like clockwork precision, every 90 days the transaction gets rolled over and we get this 12%. So you've missed out 4%, right? And all the people who had invested were obviously HNIs and super HNIs who had all put money there, and sorry to say, but it is gone. I mean, they still have associations which are hoping that one day they will get the money, but obviously you will not get, I mean, I am very skeptical about it. And forget that image of some old lady being called and being sold this product. I think 70-80% of the people who lose money are men, because men are always more confident about the things that they do not know about also. Women may be confident, but at least women would be in that area. Men would be confident about any area and bravely they would say this would happen. Like, for example, take this case of a person, a chartered accountant who was an IT head for a very big company, and then he had become a director in another company, right? So here is a person with a CA degree and 30 years of experience in IT and accounts, etc., etc. Towards the end of his life, he was almost 60 years of age. He gets a phone call saying, we can do this for you and give us your PIN. I mean, just imagine being asked to give up your savings bank account PIN. Why would you even do it? So our man thought he was very smart, so he went, he put the phone down, or rather he said, I'll call you back, or use another phone to check this number. And this number said, I have to name the bank, this is State Bank of India Chairman's Office, right? Why would the Chairman's Office of a bank call you and ask you for something as stupid as your OTP or your password or things like that? So because now he was very smart, he knew something called, there is something which is called Truecaller, and he will be able to find out. So he found out and he thought, oh wow, this is bank chairman's office calling, it can't be a fake call. It turned out to be a fake call. Luckily for him, he had only 10,000 rupees in his savings bank account, and these guys swiped only 5,000. And before they could do it, he got alerted and he stopped it. So his loss was only 5,000 rupees. But look at what happened, sheer overconfidence. What happens is you can always go buy a new SIM, save it as State Bank of India Chairman's Office, get 2-3 others to share, and Truecaller will show State Bank of India Chairman's Office. You can even show PMO, you can show Narendra Modi, doesn't really matter. The question is, that is what Truecaller can be manipulated, because as long as others save it as that and you just tell your friends that please save this as this number, that's enough. You need 2-3 people to save, that's it, and it will keep showing, and after that don't use that phone for anything else. So people do manipulate this. So why would somebody call you up on a cold call and give you the greatest offer in your life, right? Why would it happen? It can't happen. It doesn't happen, right? So most important thing, the best way is to say, I will keep away from picking up cold calls. Whenever somebody calls me to invest, I will say, I don't handle it. My son, brother, father, mother, daughter, somebody else handles it. So you are putting off that person. And he'll obviously ask, who is this? What are they doing? And all, here is a fantastic deal. I should talk to them. By this you get time, right? Second, never part with any critical information. In fact, on social media, you can put your date of birth wrong. It is not necessary that Facebook should know your exact date of birth, right? It's not an income tax return that you're filing or your PAN card, which should have, that should have, your the social media accounts can have it completely wrong. Change the year, right? Change the year dramatically by 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 22 years, whatever you want to make the change. You're 1962 born, make it 1940 born, or make it 1982 born. It doesn't really matter. Nobody cares a damn about your age. But in circles like Facebook or any social media circles, don't use your real date of birth. Use one email ID which you are happy to let go to everybody, and check it once in a week to see what is happening there. But your main email ID you may not show, but of course you need to show it to your bank, to your insurance company, to your mutual funds, because you don't want to miss out on important notification. And it could leak from there, so be careful about that. But whenever, even if your RM calls you for some sensitive information, ask him to send a mail. RM will not leave a bad trail if he knows that he is doing something wrong. Tell them, come home and take a document, or come send me a mail. I will come to your bank branch and give it to you. Don't just, it may not be coming from your bank branch. He might say, sir, I'm your relationship manager. You never know, they keep changing every 3 months, right? So be careful about all that, and I mean, so many people have lost money. They would say, oh sir, oh, he had promised me this, he had promised me that, he had promised me 18% return and 42% return. So don't fall for it. And people don't do enough investigation and enough checks to think something comes as global finance or something like that, and then they say, oh, I transferred 3 lakhs, then I transferred 5 lakhs, then they said you just another 25,000 to pay, and then you will receive this 20 lakh ka draft. And slowly you find that he has lost 11-12 lakhs before even he murmurs about it to somebody. So I know a lady who lost about 30 lakhs of her husband's money. It really ruined their marriage. There was then crying, beating, and that woman started justifying, saying, oh, it is right, no, I lost so much money for him, right? So don't respond to a cold call at all. There is nothing called, nobody is there at the other end of the counter, other end of the call, wanting to increase your riches. Something is obviously wrong. So, and this call could come at the top of a cycle, it could come at the bottom of a cycle. It's just they're working at it throughout 365, 24/7. They're working on it, hoping to crack 1%, right? So if you understand what they are doing, great. But understand that even smart people fall for it. Like this person who I said is a chartered accountant, IT head of a company, but he fell for it, right? So you may or may not like, maybe some of you are making a career with cold calling, sorry, but the truth is, avoiding a cold call is one amazing way of preserving wealth. Don't fall for any of those schemes. I mean, we'll talk about schemes separately, but don't respond to a cold call. It does not really matter. Yes, it will make that other person angry. Or you can play along and say, I will do this, I will do that. And if it's an insurance company, you say, oh, my age is 70, I don't think you will sell something to me. Anything like that, right? So put them off. Don't give critical information. Just ignoring will help. Thank you.